Hey, good morning, everyone. Dan the Glassman here, and you're watching Back to Nature. So, we're here again at One Drop Studio. It is now about I guess it's March 20th, March 19th, March 20th, I believe. It's cold about, so we're out here now, and let's check the reading here. It's 26 degrees outside right here, and I want to get a reading inside here. So now what we've done is, we've added a solar fan inside here, and we've also added this here. And I want to add this metal siding as well, which we had set up with some cans and stuff. So we're gonna get this all set up right here, and then that way we can. And here, let me grab the tripod. That way I don't have to put you down anymore, and you can actually watch this all the way through. So we will get this set up here, and I'll put you inside, and you can actually watch and see how this works here. So let me open this up, and it's really cold right now. As you can see, it's 27 degrees right here. So I'm going to add this inside right now, and we have a pizza pan right here, just as a kind of just a test to see what kind of heat we generate. Now it's a clear sky, the sun's out. It's been out for maybe a couple hours now. It's still early, and it's really cold today, so we're gonna see what this does. But it was at 27 degrees. So we're gonna just let this run now. And we have this solar fan here, and you can see that at different angles, if we just set it up like this, it won't work. So it has to actually have an angle. So we need to figure out how to set that up. And I was thinking maybe we can even have it just right here, to where then it could get that sun directly. And I don't know if we can get it to go any faster than that. So if I can figure out how to get this attached somehow, we can just put this directly in the middle here, and we can have that blow out a lot of the hot air from the top. But it feels like it's blowing a lot of the cold air too, so I'm wondering if I should just have this directly inside here. But then we have to figure out how to get this to attach to the top here, which would probably be just as simple as a couple screw holes, and then, a rubber band, some kind of bungee, something real simple like that. But it would be good to be able to change the angle. As you can see, it has a lot better angle there with the sun, and it goes a lot quicker. So if we could figure out how to actually set it up to where we can change that angle and have this on some sort of a swivel, or we can turn that during the day, then that would be really nice. The other day we had it set up right here, and it seemed to work okay. But it doesn't get the sun fully, and not really fast there. So now we're already up to 37 degrees in here. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's really heating up in here. And I'm wondering if I should bring this down maybe like that, and then that way I can bring up some of the heat. I also noticed one thing that's really cool. So this whole thing is boxed in, and it's sealed up, siliconed and everything. So all this heat is staying in here, and it gets pushed out this way. But I was noticing that when you come up in here into the window here, that there's a little spacing here. Let me show you. Here's Luna's little wand here. So let me show you this. So see how that goes all the way up into there, right? It goes through that. And I was trying to get some sort of a like a cushion or something so I could put in there But every time I was moving the window up and down, it kept opening and closing. I was like, oh man, I'm losing heat. But then I realized I'm not losing any heat actually, because what's happening is that all that heat is rising up. And so as long as I have that whole the inside of the window sealed, then all this heat that's rising up through here is actually coming out above the window right here. And so we actually are getting a lot of heat coming up here. And I bet we'll get an even higher reading from some of the heat right there, just from that heat rising up through the glass. And it's also like a double pane. And I bet if we put a aluminum screen in here, it would also work as a heat collector. I've seen the aluminum screen solar passive heaters that they make and use, and definitely that would create some heat through the window. So this alone already is built. All we have to do is just put a screen up on the top and have it, retrofit it in so it would fit in there. So this could then open and close, and basically have that screen just right on the window here, and just have enough space so it could open up and slide right up in there and still be inside of there. So I really love that design there. It wasn't meant to be, but I'm also thinking having a couple fans up top here would really create a lot more heat to come out and come through right here. So that's a bonus, guys. That's really cool. Another thing is using this siding here in that window would probably also create a lot of heat. But then we would lose all that heat from the sun. So I don't know. I don't think it would really be worth it, because then we'll lose the heat from the sun directly. But maybe this would actually collect more heat. Maybe this would warm up on the window here, and maybe that would actually be something perfect there. Just to have that inside right there. But then we lose our beautiful view, and I don't really like that. But it's a good idea, and I'm thinking with the screen you won't lose all the view. You can still see through it. So, or maybe some kind of metal, something that could basically take in the heat and then radiate it off. So, and that might be interesting to just try to slide this up in here. I don't think it's cut to the right specs. I would have to actually cut that so it would fit. But that would be interesting to try out. Oh, I think I hit the fan. Sometimes it needs to get push started. Sometimes the sun isn't powerful enough to just get it started on its own. So it's now 49 degrees inside of here, guys. Oops. Here, let me roll this up properly. Get this out of the way here. Alright, so I don't know if you guys can see the reading here, but it says it's 49 degrees, 50 degrees now. And you might be reading it backwards because I'm using the selfie cam here. My other lens is broken. I need to get a new phone or a new camera. I do have a camera coming soon to the camp, but as of right now we don't have that here yet. So it was 27 degrees out in the studio here. It's now 50 degrees in there. So it's pretty much doubled in heat, guys. And this heat is also getting pushed out. I can also feel this reflection from the sun, and this reflection, I need to get my shades actually because I'm starting to get blinded. Let me see if I can find those real quick, guys. And okay, I won't damage my eyes. All right, good. Now I can actually see. Perfect. Okay, so we got the sun in my face here. Getting warmed up. My hands are really warm, so maybe I should just put them in here. I wonder how warm this is. Oh, this is actually warm to the touch. I would say hotter than room temperature here. So that's really awesome. I put a mirror in here just to kind of reflect some light, and it's hitting up on the top of the up there, but it's a little tiny mirror, so it's not really doing anything at all. So, but that's 52 degrees inside of there, and we're just gonna let that acclimate for a little bit. It's gonna take a moment, so please just bear with us. So let's see. Camp Two Dogs, we've had some things go on. We found out that being on the land out here, because there's a lot of people out here that just live, you know, off grid, and you know, they just buy some property and they live off grid, and unless someone alerts authorities or anything like that, then it's pretty much just able to be done. But someone alerted authorities on us, and the city came out. City inspectors and permitting and housing and all that, they came out, and they were trying to shut us down. But what they didn't know was that we already have things in the works for building, and we're trying to get the water lines, and we've already paid for certain things, and so things have already been established and in the works. And these structures here we did not build. They were already built to code for using as a studio or for storage, you know, and not for living spaces. So we know that, but while we're here, we're going to utilize them as we're working here and getting our stuff done. We are going to also have to eat and take lunch breaks, so it's good to have these kind of things being off grid in these kind of situations. And whether or not they're going to say we need a permit for a solar window oven, they don't even know how they're supposed to be built or anything, so I don't know how they can really do anything like that. But you know, we'll see what happens with all that. Plus, this can be easily detachable, and so then we can say that it's not even attached to the building, and make it just a portable unit that could just fit up to any window, which would be really cool. So you just move the platform around or build a platform underneath your window and then just set one on there. So we can learn how to design these in a portable way and actually sell them. So that just gives us better ideas and better things, you know, to do. And I'm just kind of rambling on to kill some time. We're now up to 55 degrees here, guys. I don't know if you can see that. I can leave this diode in here and try to bring this out. I don't know if that's really legible here. But 55 degrees. It's actually at 57 now. So 57 degrees here. I'm not sure if you can see that or not. And that's really cool. So seems like it jumped up when I touched this, maybe. I don't know what happened. Or it just jumped up maybe when I moved this around into the sun. Maybe right here directing the sun, maybe it's a lot hotter. Look at that, jumped up to 58. Maybe it's hotter on that back end there. Maybe there's more warmth. I can't really tell. So also at the same time, we have a solar panel here that's set up. It's a little mini one, and this one is actually powering these Christmas lights that we have hanging around the space here. Then they light up. They give us a little bit of light. It's very dim lit, but we also have a bunch of lawn lights that are solar, you know, for your pathways. And we have those. You can find those easily at like the dollar store, Dollar Tree, things like that, for like $1. And they even have some other ones for like $3. But the dollar ones, what I've noticed is that they work for 8 hours just as long as the other ones. They might not be as bright. So that's the thing. So if you get several of them, putting them all together creates a lot of light. You get more lumens that way. So I don't know if it's worth it to just get one $3 one or to get three $1 ones. I can see that it's raising up in temperature now. We're up to 62 degrees now, guys. I guess the heat back there, it's really hot. I don't know if I close this, if it would make the heat rise even quicker. Let's try that out and see what happens. We're just at a steady 62. Let's see if now, just keeping it enclosed with the fan blowing the heat around like a convection oven. Lower, there's still going to be some heat loss coming through here, which is still going to heat up the place, and that might actually work out better to where it's a slow heating throughout the day, and we can regulate it by opening this up and down. I suppose. You know, it may work best if we just open it up like this, where we have a draw of cool air on the bottom, and a lot of air coming through the top. Right now it's at 64 degrees. So, and I don't know if it's really rising any faster or any slower than what we were, but we'll just keep this closed for a minute and just see how this works here. And as we're doing this, I'm going to add another pair of socks on because my feet are freezing. So it's still under freezing inside here. It's got to be about 30 degrees in the studio. So I'm going to grab another pair of socks here, guys. And I only have one pair on right now. But we're going to double up in socks real quick. And make sure that we stay warm here, which is really important. Let's see a clear little seat here. Alright, so we'll just let that acclimate some more and get another temperature reading. But I know it's cold still. Because my feet are freezing, my hands are cold. So this heater, it does work really nicely. As you can see, we're already up into the 60s. As it's easily below 30 degrees in here. It was at 27 when we started. I have the door open to try to get the sun to come in and heat up the room. And I don't know if that's actually keeping it colder because we're just letting the cold air come in, but we're letting the sunlight come in too. So it's kind of a balance there. Alright, almost done. Sorry guys. I got one sock and shoe back on here. Almost. I may have to go and stand out in the sun for a second and let my boots get warm. As you guys are sitting here watching the temperature gauge rise here. And it may be possible that I can get some video editing capability going and we can just speed up this process here so you're not having to sit through all this. That would be cool, huh? But we are living off grid, and I don't know if we have any kind of capability like that here. We could maybe find a free movie maker video editor online. We do have Wi-Fi, which is cool. But limited power. We have 2 batteries in our battery pack for now. That'll eventually grow, double, triple, quadruple in size, so we can hold more and more power, get more panels and things like that. Alright, so we're now up to 72 degrees up there, guys. 73 degrees in there. It is rising. Beautiful. So our numbers there, the 3 and the 7, the 7 and the 3. That's wonderful. Alright, so that's the thing also. The other day, while we were in here, we were wondering why it was so hot in here. It's like, man, and I had this window closed, This must have been making so much heat that it was forcing it through this crack right here, and it was just coming out. We're at 74 degrees, guys. $30 is what I just counted, and it went up to 75 degrees. So every 30 seconds, it's climbing 1 degree. We'll see if it does that again between 76 and 77, or 77 and 78. I'm gonna go step in the sun for a second, real quick, and I'll let my feet warm up. Alright, and I just went outside and grabbed the charger here, and as you can see, all 4 lights are on. The solar charger has been fully charged up by the sun yesterday, so that's wonderful. That's good news. I didn't know if this thing can fully charge up in the sun or not, so I'd like to use it down today and or tonight. Well, I guess since we have it now, we can actually just plug it in to the phone here, and we can keep this charged, and we'll use some of this power here so we can also charge it up. Might as well use it while we have it, right? Let me make sure that's charging. Alright, there we go. So it should be charging there. Alright, we're up to 79 degrees, guys, so I'm going to wait until it gets to 80, and I'll do another count again here. I'll just count in my head. And it just jumped to 80, but then to 79, and there we go. "45 seconds. Or 31 seconds there. So it fluctuates between 30 to 45 seconds. It changes as it's raising up here. The sun is actually going through some chemtrails now, so they are Xing out the sky really bad right now, guys. This looks bad. There's actually a starfish in the sky. Come check this out. They put a starfish in the sky right there. Look at that. So these are chemtrails, guys. These are not contrails. I was talking about contrails yesterday and how they dissipate. All of this here, all of that, those aren't real clouds. That's just chemical. Well, those are clouds of chemicals. You can see them just putting lines and lines and lines in the sky here. And so that means that in 2 or 3 days, there's a storm coming in. So mark my words. I will post this up today on Facebook and probably on YouTube if I can get a Wi-Fi signal. And in 2 to 3 days, if not sooner, there's going to be a storm coming in because they only covered the skies like this, horribly like this, when some sort of precipitation is coming through. Because they have aluminum inside of the chemicals here in the clouds. And that aluminum, it floats up in the sky for a while and it stays heated up. It gets hotter. And as the clouds roll through, they hit all the chemicals there and the aluminum evaporates the clouds back up into the sky, and they instead of falling down as rain, they evaporate back up, and then they pass over this plume, wherever the plumes are. So these are, you don't see them really far out there, as you can see, but you see them directly above us where the major city is of Taos. Taos is that way. And this is also just the mesa, so there isn't really much major city out here. But as you can see, there's a brand new cloud there, chem cloud, and you can see how it just like it's poofed out on the sides there. And if it was condensation, it would dissipate. It would have dissipated already by now. And you can see how it doesn't follow. Like he turned it on right there, and then just kept going, and he's going all the way to that big plume, and then it's going to be, and you won't even be able to see him at that point. He's just going to disappear into that plume. But you can see there's this one right here, so that one just turned on his plume there. There's no trail before that, and then he kind of shut off, and then turned it back on, and shut off, and then turned it back on. And now he's going to go across the sky, through the sun, and he's going to keep making it all the way through and create that line all the way into that plume there until he disappears. So we'll just keep on letting the sun heat it up, but they're about to take our sun out. So I thought we were going to have a good day of tracking the temperature in here, but they're going to cover our sun up here in just a moment. So, and I was able to notice because the power of the fan from the solar fan actually slowed down. And that's how I knew that the sun hit a cloud. I did not realize that we had this many chemtrails going on this morning. It was a beautiful morning. As you can see, clear skies out that way. That's how it looked. And there's another one forming way over there. So now they're starting to move it that way. They see how they slowly, they have this completely inundated in the sky. You can't even see blue skies, right? And then they slowly kind of pull it this way. A little bit of trails here. See how those three are right there, and then it kind of just cut off. And then there's like one way out there. It's like one just kind of cut off, and then that one there, and this one's crossing here now, and that guy's still making his over there, and he's going to keep on going all the way through. And then there's a new one way over there off in the distance. This guy's building one way over there, and pretty soon there's going to be more. Oh yeah, see, there's one over there. There's going to be more over here to the north, and they're going to keep on bringing them in. Yep. See how it's way inundated there. You can see one coming through the cloud there. And then there's a lot of chemtrails that way, and they're going to slowly just push it out that way to the north. More and more and more. Just watch throughout the day. So this is what's happening, guys. We're getting polluted by chemicals, and they fine people for making pollution, and yet they're able to get away with it themselves. This is the government that's doing this to us and allowing these planes to drop chemicals on us. We're in a chemical warfare, and we don't even realize it. And there's not much to do to fight back. These planes might even be drones. They might not even be manned planes. They could be drones just flying in the sky. They could even be set with automatic calculations on where to go. Their coordinates already pre-programmed in. So you can see that one actually shut off his chemical that way. Or maybe, I don't know, it looks like the trail stopped in between there. But he went through and he's still marking it. He's right there going into the clouds that way. And this guy, this is the one that's coming through, so he's going to mark the sky now. And that guy's still way out there. So yeah, this is what goes on every day. Let's go check out the temperatures again. Let's not get sidetracked by all this. Alright, so let's set you guys back up on here. And make sure you can see all this. Let's get the... Alright, make sure this is still plugged in here. Nice. Alright, so we're now up to 87 degrees inside there. And let's see if it's if we can get a count. Once it gets to 88, then I'll count again. We'll see if it gets to 89 any quicker. But right now, I don't know. We might cap off because of the chemtrails are going to be covering up the sun. They're literally covering up the sky right now. They're covering our sun, and they're going to create clouds. But they're not going to create rain. That's the thing. People are like, yeah, well, they're creating clouds. It's like, well, no, you don't get it. It's just a plume of chemicals. It's not helping us with rain, not at all. Alright, and it looks like we're sitting at 87 degrees for quite a while. I think we've lost the sun here, guys, so our experiment here is ruined thanks to the global chemtrails. So there you have it. This sun's only going to keep moving further and further to the west, which is where the chemtrails are, and that hole where it's completely inundated. So we're done here, guys. I can't really give you any better readings than this. We're at 87 degrees. It's like 27 to 32 degrees right now in the studio here still. It's freezing. But in here, we just open this up, and all of this heat is going to come in and warm up the whole entire room. So we'll just allow that to happen, and we're going to get to work here. We're going to blow some glass. So thank you guys so much for watching, and let me just make sure you guys can see that it does say, it does read 87 degrees here. I hope you guys can see that. And now it's dropped to 86. So by opening the window, we're now bringing in a lot of cold. And so that cold is going to drop this temperature. That's interesting, huh? So maybe what we should do is actually try out. Alright. Let's actually add that tin in here real quick. It's dropped to 85 now. Let's see what happens when we add this tin back in here, guys. Alright. You can hear the fan. We're losing the fan. Chemtrails are taking the fan out. They don't want us to have solar power. No solar. It's free. You can't have free solar. Alright, so let me just set this up here real quick. It's like a staging for pans is what it really is. And I gotta put the pans, or the cans in the middle here as well. And I don't know, these might actually help with holding in heat. I'm not really sure. They could, maybe. It's possible. So we're at 81 degrees now, guys. So it was 87. And as soon as we opened up this, we let the cold air in, we let the hot air out, and we've lost all that heat. So we know that closing this definitely keeps the heat in. I'm not sure what this is going to do. It might actually bring more heat in. I do know that if we have a black piece of metal in here, or even just a sheet of paper, it would bring in the heat. It would attract the heat in. And I'm looking for something that I could use that's black. We can also spray paint the back side of this black and turn it around, and that could also help. The temperature is now 76 degrees in there. Let's see what happens if we close this up again. That means that it's really cold in here. But it went down to 75. So, and where was it at? 80, 87? Almost to 88. So it got really hot in there. I don't know if it's going to get any hotter because of the chemtrails and everything. But I'll let you guys go, and I'll just let this acclimate like this, and we'll come back if we can get a good reading. If it does get hotter than 88, or close again if it gets hotter. But there's no way to really check because we don't have a controlled environment anymore. They covered up the sun. So, but thank you guys so much for watching. This is Dan the Glass Man, and you're watching Back to Nature. We're here at One Drop Studio, figuring out how to be off-grid here. Thank you so much. Remember, water is life, and every drop counts. Talk to you soon.